Hi everyone, welcome back and welcome if you're new. My name is Nikki and this is Interbeauty. And today we're going to do another Foundation Friday. This is going to be on the really popular Natasha Denona Hy-Glam Foundation. This overruled the market by a storm, but this is just a gorgeous foundation. I'm going to let you know already. But if you want to see how it stacks up against all of the other foundations, if you want to see the playlist, I will link it down below. This foundation will be put to the test in 10 categories and it will come out a final number and we'll see how it ranks. So if you want to know how it ranks and what I think of this foundation, please keep on watching. The Natasha Denona Foundation. This is the new Hy-Glam Foundation and like everybody else, I have been loving it. But I was really curious how it would stack up against every single foundation that I have done a Foundation Friday on. See what the score will be at the end with 10 points. My shade is N2, so neutral 2. It's the same as I have in the concealer. And that's the first point that I want to make. They absolutely match. So I want to get this one in an N1 as well, so I could use it underneath my eyes. Usually I use this one on the face and the eyes, but for a little bit of brightening, I want this one in N1 as well. But this is a perfect match on my face and I already knew that because I had this one. And they are exactly the same in terms of color. So that is a really tough job to do and she did it anyway. This is a foundation that is medium but buildable. So if you want a lighter coverage, you can sheer it out. You can actually make it into a skin tint with some, I don't know, a hydrating serum or a moisturizer. Or if you want more full coverage, you can build it up or even apply it with a puff or with a really dense brush and you will get the most coverage out of it. The finish is more a radiant finish, a bit dewy, glowy finish, but it doesn't look greasy, even with my oily skin. Yes, of course, if I don't powder it by the end of the day, yes, it will be greasy, but upon application, no, it's not greasy looking. I can apply this one with a brush or a sponge. It doesn't matter. Usually I do both. I apply it first with a brush and after that I will dab it on with a sponge just to even out the coverage even more and pick up the rest of the foundation that hasn't settled down. Because this is a foundation that settles itself down. It isn't enough for me, for my oily skin to set fully, but if I just powder my T-zone, it will be enough. And my under eyes I like to powder as well. Let's go to the first one, shade selection. There are 52 shades. That's massive. And absolutely something that we love to see. 52 shades gives you enough range to actually get all of the undertones and really give lots of depth. The lightest shade will be 0.5 and the deepest shade will be 16. And you might think, well, 16 isn't deep enough, but there are half shades. So trust me, there are enough shades. If you look at the shade range, it is beautifully spaced out. They are in columns by 6 and every column has enough. So in my opinion, that is perfection. I don't know how she did it, but she did 52 shades. So I'm going to give it a 10. I couldn't ask for more. Yeah, of course we would like to see more shades even. But maybe in a year there is enough feedback and she can release another shade of 5 to 10 and you will get to that shade point. But right now for a release, 52 shades is amazing. Next one up is availability, and Natasha Denona is quite available if you look at the US. They have the Natasha Denona website, they have Ulta, Sephora, everywhere where you can find high-end products. If you look at Europe, it's a bit more difficult. You will have the Natasha UA website, so that's useful. You will have Cultbeauty, Beautylish, Lookfantastic. So there are enough places that you can shop from. But there are no shades in the Netherlands, for example, that I can swatch them. So I must buy it online and I can't swatch it in store. So that is a small thing that I would love to see improving. Yes, you can swatch it in store in the US, but not so far I know in the Netherlands or anywhere else in Europe except for Sephora. So that's why I'm going to give it a 9. If they would improve slight bit in availability worldwide, that would be another 10, but still amazing. Now we go to the third one, and that's going to be price. And price is quite okay, especially for high end. The price is 49 euros or $52. And that's quite high. I get that, absolutely. It's in the 50 range. But for high end, for almost luxury, I would classify this one as more luxury, it is a good price. However, 52, especially with all of those inflations, is quite a bit high and isn't in the budget for a lot of people. In my opinion, every high-end foundation should range until the 40s. After that, it becomes so much. I had to buy it for 59 euros, and that doesn't include tax or shipping or anything. Yes, most often you will get free shipping, but still. I'm going to give them a 7, and not because I don't like the price and I don't think it's worth it. It's just I would love to see the price drop 5 to 10 euros. So it will be in the 40s, and then it's perfect in my opinion. But 10 euro drop or $10 drop is quite high for a high-end foundation, and I don't see that happening. A discount for like 20-25% would also be great, but so far I haven't seen any discounts except for the Natasha Denona website. If you buy 3 of the Hy-Glam products, you will get 15% off. But 3 products for 15% is quite a lot of money, and not everybody can spend that much on a foundation. Then we have the packaging, and this is a really unique bottle. This is the one of a kind that I haven't seen before. You will have flat on the front, you will have a circle on the back, it's more rounded. You have all of the information on the back, which is amazing. Not all scribbled on the bottom. Yes, there is information. Those are more the address, where it came from, the shades, etc. But everything that you need to know about the foundation is on the back, which is amazing. You will have a cap that is custom made because it's the same shape. You have lovely rose gold. You have a good pump. It is actually a good pump. But the cap, again, like I have most luxury or high-end foundations, why is this so light and not magnetic? Come on, we could do better. This is so luxe and heavy and beautiful. Not easy for travel though, but it is gorgeous on your vanity, and then you will have this. Give me a high quality cap with magnets so it will snap on, and then I'm completely satisfied. But still, that's going to be a pet peeve and not a big issue at all. So I'm going to give them a 9 because it is still a really lovely luxe foundation bottle. And I would be proud if this was on my vanity. Then we go to the shade accuracy, because 52 shades is amazing, but what if the shade undertones are not correct or it oxidizes? So far I can see nobody complains about oxidization. I haven't experienced it, and nobody else seems to have any trouble with oxidizations, which is amazing. I can actually confirm that the dry down isn't that bad, so it is actually the same shade as the dry down, slightly off maybe, but no, you can still just pick a foundation in store and you don't have to be worried that it will be 2 shades darker when you get home. If you look at the shade accuracy, they have multiple undertones. I'm going to read them to you because I will forget. You will have neutral, you will have peach, rosy, and you will have yellow, and you will have any combination with those. So you will have rose neutral or neutral rosy. They have them both, I don't know why. A neutral yellow, a neutral peach, and a yellow peach, and a rosy peach. I am not sure which category the olive tones will fit in. I have to do some digging for that, but so far that means they have at least 7 undertones, and that is amazing. They have 6 depths and they have 7 undertones, and that is such a broad spectrum that I've never come across before. Natasha Denona knows how to do coloring. Trust me on that, and that's why I'm going to give them a 10. Because I couldn't wish for anything better. Now we have the texture, and the texture is really, really beautiful. If you pump it out, you can see that it is really liquidy, really serum-like. If you feel it on your hand, it actually feels like a serum. So if you like adding a serum on your skin. If you look at my hand, I use 2 pumps, so it would be a lot of coverage, but it doesn't look cakey. It still looks smooth and blurring and beautiful. There are loads of claims that they have, which we will get into in a bit, but this spreads so far. It is thin, it's lightweight, you can really rub it in. It will dry down, not too fast, you can still work with it, but it will dry down. So you don't have to set it with powder if you don't want to, if you're extremely dry, for instance. If you have oily skin like me, you will have to set it down, otherwise your oils will come through. But still, I don't mind, because nothing that a hydrating setting spray doesn't fix, or your natural oils during the day. The texture is so amazing, it doesn't emphasize anything. No cakiness, no dryness, no flakiness. Even with my open acne, it just glides over. No issue at all. If you have raised bumps, it's not that they remove it or anything, but it just glides over, which is already a hard thing to do. If I have one critique point, and I'm really pushing it, I would have loved a more satin finish, because I love the dewiness, but this is too much for my skin. If I just put this one onto my skin, I will look like almost like a grease ball, and I don't like that look. So if Natasha Denona can come out with another foundation, but a satin finish, one that doesn't need to require setting down for oily skin, it will be golden. So I love this one. Maybe a satin matte foundation as well with setting down for oily skin. Maybe I can even mix them. So Natasha Denona, if you hear this, please come out with another one, but with a satin finish. I would love that. But since I don't have any critiques on this foundation, I will give it another 10. There's nothing else I could say about it. It's amazing. Then we have the name accuracy, and that's all about the claims. So let me read out loud what the claims are. Hydrating. Yes, it's very hydrating. There is bamboo in there, so for hydrating. Algae for excess oil absorption. White tea for the blur. Jasmine for hyperpigmentation, so it actually does something for your skin. And it also has some grape in there for hydrating and anti-aging. Next to that, there's hyaluronic acid and squalane. So all beautiful ingredients. So it's actually a hybrid with foundation and skincare. So it is an actual serum-like foundation. It's blurring, and yes, that's accurate because of the white tea in there. It has some specules in there that actually help with blur, and you will have the algae that will absorb the oil, so it will be a smooth canvas. A long wear serum foundation up to 18 hours. It is lightweight, it is serum-like I said. Up to 18 hours, I'm not certain, but easily a 12 to 14 hour wear. I have done that many times, but I am a face toucher, so by the 12 to 14 hour mark, I will have touched my skin so much that I'm not sure if it will stay on for 18 hours. If it lasts more than 12 hours, I am more than happy, and that is long wearing in my books. The 12 to 14 hours does require some touch-ups with some blotting and some powdering for oily skin girls, but other than that, that is to be expected. Radiant creaseless coverage. Nothing is completely creaseless, so to claim this is very bold, but it is really dewy, really glowy, so that is accurate. And it doesn't settle into my lines over here, not in my frown lines, not in my fine lines around my eyes, none of that. So I would say it is mature skin approved. No creasing on those points so far. Under eyes is just however your skin is. You can't buy a creaseless concealer if everything creases on you. I usually don't have that issue, just depends on your skin, not the product. Every skin type and every skin concern. I can't say for every skin type, but for what I've experienced and for what I've read, it does match every single skin. Like I said, it is mature skin friendly, so no settling into lines or dryness. I have some dry patches because of my combination skin and my psoriasis. It doesn't cling to those dry patches. It doesn't really emphasize my pores. It is a little bit blurring on my pores as well, so it doesn't emphasize them, and doesn't cling to them. So yeah, I would say every skin type, every skin concern. Yeah. And lastly, it's self-setting. Yes, it is self-setting, absolutely. You do have some wiggle room to play with, but it is self-setting. However, oily skin does need some powder, in my opinion at least. But that makes it another 10. I can't ask for anything more than what it already claims, and it actually lives up to the claims. They didn't put any claims in there that was a stretch and wouldn't fit everybody. So yeah, they actually did well, and they had quite a lot of claims. And then we have the blendability, and this is one of the smoothest, one of the most easy to blend foundations I have come across. This is gliding over your skin with a brush, with your finger, with a sponge. It doesn't matter, it just glides over. It blurs every single thing. No, it's not 100% blurring on your pores, unfortunately. I wish there was something that does that. But with a blurring primer and with a blurring powder, it is amazing. It doesn't have any issues with any skin prep that I've noticed, with any SPF, with any powder, with any bronzer, cream products, anything, any setting spray. It works with all of them. Never had any pilling with this one. I had not ever any issues of balling up, creasing, whatever. This works with all of them. I don't know how she does it, but she did. Even if you put on too much powder and it looks a bit cakey, nothing that a hydrating setting spray can't fix. It's truly amazing. If I need to nitpick on something, I would say that if I wear my sunglasses, I will get some creasing or balling up, or it removes some foundation around here and around my lines over there. But that is to be expected. Even with the powder trick, I haven't found a foundation that doesn't do that. So I can't fault this foundation for that, because every single foundation does that on me. So if you have any other tricks, please let me know, because my sunglasses always messes up my foundation, and it's such a shame. But since I don't have any other points on the blendability, I need to give it another 10. I told you guys this was a really good foundation. Number 9 is going to be longevity, and like I said, this claims to be up to 18 hours. And I can't say if it's 18 hours plus, because I can't try it that far. I am a skin toucher, like I said. I hold my head like this, I will rub my nose, I will pull something underneath my eye, I will do like this every single time, and that messes up the foundation, of course. So it can't be expected. But at least if you look at my nose and my chin, those are my problem areas. Most foundations will break up on there between the 6 and the 12 hour mark, depends on the foundation. This one, no issue. No issue around my nose or my chin within those 12 to 14 hours. After that, I haven't tried it because I removed it beforehand. But if you have a long day, I had one where I need to be up at 7 and I went to bed at 12 or something like that. And I removed it beforehand, of course. But this one stayed on the whole freaking day, and I got compliments the whole day. Call me impressed. Absolutely call me impressed with the longevity. I can tell you this much. I am certain that next year a lot of makeup artists will use this one in their kit. This is long wearing, beautiful, works on every skin type. What more do you want? So this is going to be another 10. How could it not? And lastly, overall, this is easily one of my top 5 foundations ever. I do need to retest all of my favorite foundations because I haven't worn them in a long time, because I have been testing out so many foundations for my Foundation Fridays. I have 6 that I'm testing out right now. Yeah, that takes quite a while. I am testing them for a few weeks at least before I do a review, because they need to stand the test of time. But like I said, I need to retest my favorites, and after that, at the end of the year, I will let you know what place this foundation will be ending in my Glow List Awards at the end of the year. This foundation, like I said, is easily top 5. It does what it says, it needs to do what it needs to do, and this is a beautiful, beautiful foundation. If I didn't need to test out a new foundation for my Foundation Friday every single week, this would be the one that I would use on repeat every single week at least. But since I have like 100 foundations, I need to test them all out and use them. But this one will be coming out really often, because I just know this one doesn't do me dirty whenever I need it. So this is going to be another 10, and that blows my mind actually. For everybody that has been counting, that's going to be 95. 95, that is the highest scoring foundation thus far. Like I said, the only 3 things that they can improve on is the packaging because of the cap, is going to be the availability because I want to swatch it in store outside the US, and of course the price, because inflation, it ranks up all those prices and I want to keep them down at least in the 40s for the high-end foundations. If you don't mind those 3 things, if you can swatch them in store because you're in the US, because you don't mind the cap, and because you don't mind paying the price, I don't have anything else to say about this foundation. This is truly amazing, and I don't say that often, trust me. You can watch all of my Foundation Fridays back. I am brutally honest. I don't mess around. So now let's do the application. I am prepping of course with my Amber Release Cream, because I always do with every single Foundation Friday to keep it fair. If you want to know more about my eye look, I did a video on it on TikTok and you can watch it through the link in the description box. We are applying the foundation of course with my Rose & Ben brush in C42, one of the best foundation brushes I know, a really lovely dense foundation brush with an angle. And I am applying 3 pumps on the back of my hands. I am not certain I will use all of them, but I have quite a lot of acne open right now. And I will stamp it on. And you can see this still looks like skin. It is completely different. You can see that it covers all redness without any issues. And it still looks like an actual skin. If you want to up the coverage, you absolutely can with an extra layer of foundation or just some concealer. And I just used a small bit because most foundation is still on my hand. This looks actually still like skin. No, it doesn't cover every single acne with one smooth layer because it is a medium coverage, as it should be. I'm going to take the rest and actually build it up so you can see that it is buildable. The finish is absolutely stunning, really looks like skin. Yes, you will see some texture and stuff like that because you can't erase texture with makeup. It's just not possible. A blurring foundation, a blurring primer, a blurring powder, yes, they can blur but not remove texture completely. So if you don't have loads of acne just like me, it will be more smooth than mine. But still, I love the finish. I am just going to apply a little bit of concealer with my Semi concealer, like I always do at my Foundation Fridays, underneath my eyes. This is in the shade 05, just to brighten it up a bit. And I'm setting it with my Huda powder, of course, like always. With a puff underneath my eyes and with a brush for the rest of my face. so we don't have too much. And I usually grab my T-zone with a puff as well, since I get extra oily on those areas. And just a light dusting on the rest. So this is the finished result. I absolutely love the foundation. Please let me know what you think. I think it looks beautiful and healthy. I just set it with the Scandinavia as always, and it gives me a beautiful dewy glowy look without compromising on the powder actually. So please let me know what you think. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel. It will help me so much because we can grow even more and I can help you even more. Don't forget to like this video and comment down below what your favorite foundation is, or if you have ever tried this foundation. I'm really curious. I hope you have an amazing day and I will see you soon. Bye guys!